I I kind of overheard a conversation one time, um, but I couldn't hear real well, so I didn't really get the the gist of it. The gist of it. oh, oh, these fucking people. Oh, they kill me every day. I swear to God. The gist of it. Okay. Oh Lord. Um, but it was talking about um, like black people, how it sound like what it would sound like is that okay, like the Moorish people, we've all heard like white people be like, the black people enslaved themselves before they came over here, and black people sold the black people to us. And you're like, okay, white guy, old white guy. No, I mean, it sounds like that's true, And from what I think they were talking about was that, and these were black people talking about this, right? So, you know, because of course it matters who's speaking. What's being spoken isn't as important as who's saying it, right? But from what I gathered, it sounded like they were saying that basically, since the beginning, or long ago, in a distant galaxy or whatever, right? That there was two kinds of black people. And I don't know, man, it sounds kind of like it might be true. Like, you had the slave black people and the slave master black people. And from what it sounded like, throughout all these generations, the descendants of the two different groups have remained those two different groups. In other words, like the slave master black people have remained separate from the slave black people. Like, weird, right? So it got me to thinking, like, the last names that, because I know one of my foster homes, they went into Mount Zion Church, all the hats, all the shoes, and all that shit, right? And there was some people in the church with the last name Moore, like Moorish, Moore. That was their last name, and I'm thinking, wow. I never thought about it till like the past few days. Well, I mean, I thought about it, but not like I've thought about it here recently. Like, how old is that name? And it goes way back to like ancient times of Moorish people, probably, right? And my foster mom had Egyptian art all up in the house, and that kind of, it's like, okay, who were the Egyptians that enslaved the Jews? Who were the Egyptians? What color were they? There's a lot of controversy. A lot of people say that the Egyptians and the pharaohs were black. In the artwork, they look brown. I mean, brownish. I don't know. But it's almost like some black people are kind of insistent that they were the slave masters. That they don't say that, but they say that they were the pharaohs, they were the Egyptians, which would mean that they were the slave masters. I mean, right? So I'm wondering, okay, you got a black person with the last name Smith or Johnson. Those are white slave owner names, basically. But Moore, that's a Moorish name. So, you get what I'm saying here? Like, right under all of our nose, right in front of all of our faces, is this possible? That when you see a black person, you're either looking at a slave or a slave master within the race that they don't speak to us about, or, like to anybody. Like, it's just kind of like a secret society of, that's fucking weird if that's what's going on. That's what it sounded like they were saying. That's some weird shit if that's the case, don't you think? Nobody thinks that's fucking weird? That would explain a lot, though. It would explain a lot personally. A lot of questions that I have or confusion. Well, what do you think?